Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. Glad to be with you as always. Moving through week 5, already here to Wednesday, and today getting to hear a meditation written by Loida Sardinias Iglesias, who is a priest in the Episcopal Diocese of Columbia, working at Mission St. John the Evangelist. She is a professor of theology at Pontificia Universidad Javeriana in Bogota, with special interests in systematic theology, ecumenism, and ethics. So, looking forward to seeing what Loida has to say to us this morning. And of course, we will begin by allowing Gabby to lead us again in prayer.
Dios Todopoderoso, solo tú puedes ordenar los afectos y voluntades rebeldes de los pecadores. Concede gracia a tu pueblo para amar lo que tú dispones y desear lo que tú prometes, a fin de que en medio de los rápidos y variados cambios del mundo, nuestros corazones permanezcan fijos allí donde se encuentran los verdaderos goces, por nuestro Señor Jesucristo, que vive y reina contigo, y el Espíritu Santo, un solo Dios, ahora y por siempre. Amén.
Amen. Loida writes, for those of us who come from evangelical traditions, some Lenten practices, such as carrying a cross on the Via Dolorosa or walking the stations of the cross, may strike us as alien because of their focus on pain and blood. But a few years back, I participated in an interfaith commemoration of the Jesuit martyrs of El Salvador, and the event changed my perception of the way of the cross. The service prompted me to reflect on and experience what the cross means to me. I always wear crosses on my necklace. I even collect them, owning crosses of various shapes, colors, and countries of origin. I try to understand how this cross can not only represent provocation and suffering, but also hope in God who becomes human and lives in solidarity with all the crucified. When I turn my eyes to Christ crucified and also risen, Christ encounters me in my needs, doubts, and trials to show me the love of a welcoming Father. On our way of the cross, our community walked through the various stations while reading short reflections. The stations reminded us of our own trials and invited prophetic denunciation. We remembered the suffering in our parishes and communities of faith. We remembered those we lost to COVID-19, women martyrized by domestic violence, and our fellow Christians persecuted in other countries. Assassinated civic leaders, farmers, students, and LGBT plus people were also part of this memorial of the Passion and the Cross. In this way of the cross, I have learned to love and live my Episcopal spirituality. I can affirm the cross as a calling to put an end to crosses, an end to violence among people. I pray that this Lent we may dare to see beyond Jesus' pain and to our suffering world. We may dare to see beyond Jesus' pain to our suffering world and discover the transforming power of the way of the cross. So what strikes me from Loida's meditation is, or what I connect with, I suppose, is that I too, as many Episcopal priests or just priests in general, or just people in general, seem to have, is a collection of crosses that adorn my wall. And I have heard the argument before about how it seems to not get at the heart of the message if we turn crosses into jewelry. What are we really saying? And that maybe it helps us or encourages us to forget that this cross is a torture device that we are wearing on ourselves or hanging on our walls, because that's what it was. It had no religious or spiritual significance whatsoever. This was the Roman form of torturous death penalty. And it was used in a way that was intended to make an example of the criminals who were being crucified. So crucifixion was reserved for the most notorious of sins, for those who the government really wanted to set as an example. And what I see as the symbol of the cross, especially the empty cross, there's a very big difference theologically between an empty cross and a crucifix where Christ is on the cross. I don't have any crucifixes, but I do have many empty crosses, many beautiful crosses. I've got a cross tattooed on my back, and it has such deep meaning for me because what it means to me is that through Christ, through God, through our faith and trust and hope and love, we can redeem violence. We can redeem death, disaster, suffering, brutality. That even the worst of the worst that humanity can endure can be taken, wrapped up in all of the love that God has to offer, and turned into something that can become beautiful. That is my hope in the cross. That is what I place there, is not so much a reminder of the suffering and death, though that's part of it, but instead a hope that someday, through our faith, through our reliance on God, that we can transform all of those sufferings into something that can be beautiful, can be hopeful, love-filled. That's what I see in the cross. And that's what I hope to experience when walking the stations of the cross, which we'll do together Friday right before Easter. So that's what I offer to you in addition to Loida's wonderful meditation this morning. And invite you to think about what those crosses that you may yourself wear or have displayed somewhere, what do they really mean to you? Not always an easy question to answer, but one I will pose anyway. And then we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.